So this will be an example for the second set of exercises on SP54. So I'm going to call this Graph Stories Set 2. We're going to look at the graph to make sure we understand the context, what's going on. Along the x-axis, it starts at 0, and then as we move to the right, this is time since storm began. And it's measured in hours. The last one was minutes, this is hours, so it's kind of still the same. Along the y-axis, it starts at 0, and then it increases, but it's measuring the snow on the ground, and that's measured in inches. Okay, so sentence 1. During a snowstorm, Kayla tracked the amount of snow on the ground. Sounds good. No information that we need to apply to the graph, but there we go. When the storm began, there was 2 inches of snow on the ground. So that, boys and girls, when they tell us what it began, that is actually like our b value. Remember when we were talking about y equals mx plus b? And here, I'll write that out for you really quick. Y equals mx plus b. We talked about how the b value is going to represent the dot on the y-axis here, and it's where we begin. So because it says when the storm began, they're giving you a hint. They're saying, well, this is going to be on your y-axis, and there's 2 inches. Well, if it's 2 inches, we simply go from 0 up to 2, and now we've got our line here. So that's kind of the first thing. And these stories all start by saying how much snow is on the ground. Sometimes it's 0, and sometimes it might be 6, etc. But this will be your first point. Your b value will be on the y-axis. Okay, let's get rid of these marks right here, and let's go ahead and read the next sentence. Snow fell at a constant rate of 3 inches per hour until 6 inches had fallen. Okay, so like we did in the last example, is the hint is we want to find what our m value is. And a key to finding our m is we want to look for the word per or every. And I see the word per here, so this is my m, or my rate of change here. This is going to be 3 inches per hour. And remember, per hour is singular. That means per 1 hour. So starting at this point, I'm going to go up 3 inches and write 1, but I have to do that until a total of 6 inches have fallen on the ground. Or a quick way is to be like, well, what would you multiply 3 inches by to get to 6 inches? Well, I just take 3 inches and multiply it by 2, because 3 times 2 is 6, and that lets you know. But I'm just going to stick with 3 over 1 to start. So here we go. So from our beginning point of 2, I'm going to go up 1, 2, and 3, and then write 1. I want to point out that if we started at 2 and went to 5, we went up 3 inches. We're not done yet. We got to do another. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, write 1. And so now I've traveled a total of 6 inches. Started at 2, went to 8, went 6 inches, and that took me 2 hours. Notice it was at 0, and notice now it's at 2. Great. Let's continue on. Okay. After that, it says, make sure I get the 6 inches had fallen. The storm stopped for 3 hours. So what we're going to do at this point is if the storm stops, I'm going to go back to the line. This would be increasing. This would be staying the same. Let me back. It was where the snowfall is increasing. This is where the snowfall is unchanging. It's staying the same. And this is where it's decreasing. But usually in stories like this, if it says it's decreasing, they're going to use the word melting. This is going to be where it stays the same, and this is where the snowfall continues or the storm continues. So because it said the storm stopped for 3 hours, that means that there's no snow falling, which means our snow will stay the same for 1, 2, 3 hours total. 1, 2, 3. Got it. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Okay, then it says, and then it started at a constant rate of 1 inch per hour for the next 2 hours. Again, now we do have the word per, and it's hidden over here. So it says 1 inch per hour. So my m is going to be 1 inch per 1 hour. And remember, per means that's singular. It's going to be per hour. So from here, I actually have to go up 1, right 1. But now I have to point out that we have to do that for a total of 2 hours. So I'm going to have to do it twice because remember, this is 1 hour. So up 1, right 1. And now we have a total of 2 hours that passed. We were at 5 hours and we're now at 7 hours right here. Cool. Let's go on to the next one. All right, next 2 hours. As soon as the storm stopped again, the sun came out and melted snow for 3 hours at a constant rate of 2 inches per hour. Okay, so the storm stops right here, and it's giving us a hint. It's saying that the sun is melting the snow. So if it's going to melt, I'm going to let you know that's going to be a dead giveaway that we're now going to have a negative slope. And it tells us that our negative slope, our rate anyways, is 2 inches per hour. So I'm going to put a negative 2 inches for every 1 hour because it says per hour. But we're going to have to do that for a total of 3 hours. Well, again, think about it. If this is negative 2 inches for every 1 hour, we've got to do that 3 times because it says for 3 hours. So here we go. Down 2, right 1, that's 1 hour. Down 2, right 1, that's 2 hours. Down 2, right 1, that's 3 hours. And we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and see what Delta Math says. We got it. We're good to go.